Hello, YouTube. How y'all doing tonight? I know it's rather late, but I'm just getting in, and this is the time that I'm able to go live today. I had an amazing evening, and I want to come talk to you guys tonight to wind down the night. Hi, I'm Queen Lillie. Welcome to my live. We're talking about Donald Trump, life under Trump. What is going on with Donald Trump? So much is going on with him. From being booed at a restaurant, he wants to have protesters kicked out the restaurant. We got a lot to talk about, y'all. It's getting disastrous, okay? From the birthday book and all. Yes. Donald Trump and his lies about it's not his signature. When we all know, Donnie, they compared your signature to letters you have written to people, such as Hillary Clinton when she was campaigning, and other letters you have written, Donnie. We know it's you. You're not getting out of this. You cannot, you can no longer scam America. How about that, Donnie? Hit that like button. Hello, King Allen. How you doing, my love? My love. I love my King Allen. Thank you for being a great moderator, Allen. It's so much going on with Donald Trump, and I hope no one take their foot off of his neck. Keep going, y'all. We got to get him up out of there because America is sinking right now because of Donald Trump. For our country to get better and to heal, Donald Trump must go. Him and his dirty little ho 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 and a Merry Christmas. Gotta go. Yeah. So what are we talking about first? We're gonna discuss this restaurant that Donnie goes to, and he want to have the protesters thrown out. And I truly enjoyed watching these videos of these protesters because they were not afraid. They got backbone. Something that the MAGA Republicans in Congress do not have. They do not have backbone. And these women, honey, it might as well have been me because they had the energy of Lillie written all over them. They told Donald Trump, "You are the new Hitler in this world today." Did they lie? Did they lie? No, they didn't lie, y'all. Donnie wants to be Hitler. His actions, from the words he used, are words from Hitler. His first wife said he studied the book of Hitler. MAGA, your savior, Donald Trump, studied the book of Hitler. Yes, he did. Oh my God, the presidential. Oh my God, fix it, Jesus. So Donnie has a new presidential Bible called the Presidential Edition for $99.99. Fix it, Jesus. That's all I got to say. Donnie doesn't even know our Lord and Savior. He pretends to know Jesus Christ, and Jesus Christ does not know him. Our Lord and Savior does not hear the prayers of a reprobated mind. Who's a reprobated mind? Donald Trump. Oh, Donnie boy, God doesn't hear you. He has deaf ears to you. You're one of the biggest sinners and the biggest criminal in this country. You are a man that has 34 felonies. Felonies. Felonies, Donnie. And you said brown people are such bad criminals. The black children in Chicago are criminals. They're going to grow up and be bad people because they're born bad people. Apparently, Donnie, since the age of 5, you've been horrible. I got a video about that too to tell you about Donald Trump since he was a kid up to now. Donnie is no saint. God has no part of him. He is the Antichrist, in my opinion. Hello, as you guys are coming in, hit that like button, please. If you'd like to become a member, I have 2 different kind of memberships. I have the rubies for $4.99, and I have the diamonds membership for $9.99. You will want to become a member on my channel because you get all the things that the regular subscribers do not get. You get things that a lot of YouTube channels can't get. I give it to you firsthand. Sometimes things that I get, I hurry up and put it in the members membership so they can get it first. So get your membership. There it is again. Ruby's membership of $4.99. Diamond's membership is $9.99. Get your membership. Also, if you'd like to donate to my channel, you can send me super chats and super stickers. That is how you can support me and donate to my channel. In my description, I have Venmo. So if you have Venmo and you want to bless me, you can send me something through Venmo as well. And in my description, I have PayPal. You just hit that PayPal link and you send me a token of love, baby. Because you know why? I give you what you want. I give you what you need. Satisfaction guarantee is what you get from me when you come to my channel, Queen Lillie. Hit that like button as you're coming in. Okay, I see y'all in here, but y'all haven't hit that like button. Hit the like button. Show me some love. I give you what you want, and I give you what you need. Now give me what I want and what I need. Hit that like button for me. Donald Trump is the worst president ever. Hold on, I'm going to turn on my do not disturb. One moment, please. Okay, I'm back. Hello, y'all. How y'all doing? Do you miss me? I missed you, and I'm so sorry that I'm going live late. But y'all are not going to regret it because we get to hear some hecklers tear Donnie up and tell Donnie, you is nothing but a Hitler boy. Donnie boy is nothing but a Hitler. Hit that like button, please. Oh, you like my earrings? King DJ Kelly's? Thank you so much. They like you. Thank you. Thank you. Hello, King Jason. Hey. Hello, all you beautiful kings and queens in my chat. Hit that like button for me. We're going to go ahead and get started, okay? So we're going to listen to Trump get booed in D.C. as he enters a restaurant a block away from the White House. Why does he torture himself? Hello, Queen Sunshine. They are booing Donald Trump at a restaurant down from the White House. And y'all know Donnie consider himself a king, so he won't, more than likely in his sick mind, he would love to have stones thrown at them for booing him. But Donnie, we live in a republic and a democracy. You are not a king, but I have beautiful kings and queens in my chat, all of them. So we're going to move on along to another video about Donnie being booed.
We have some news right now. Donald Trump freaked out and ordered that the protesters at a D.C. restaurant where he was trying to have dinner tonight essentially be thrown out. This is a stunning video from a D.C. restaurant where Donald Trump tried to dine. Watch this. In that video, you can see a clearly agitated and angry Donald Trump essentially saying, "Get him out," referring to the protesters. Now, these protesters were protesting Donald Trump for essentially taking over Washington, D.C. Now, obviously, he thought he can go out in the streets of D.C. and D.C. residents would welcome him with open arms, but obviously that's not really the case here. They were protesting him in the restaurant. They were protesting him outside of the restaurant, and he was getting very agitated. He wanted them thrown out. I believe they actually did leave eventually, were ordered to leave. But still, pretty stunning scenes. Spread the word so more people know, and follow along step state on all the news you need to know about, and support my work by subscribing to my Substack at the link in bio. We have some news right now.
Please subscribe to Aaron Parnas. I love his commentary. He gives great content. Anything that I show you on my YouTube channel is fair use, great for educational purpose, great for research purposes, and great entertainment. But what I'm giving to you tonight is great research. Yes, research. What we're doing, research. So I'm going to show you more because they actually got in the restaurant where Donnie was. And Donnie thinks he's untouchable. But those hecklers and protesters, they got him. They got you, Donnie. Yeah. They got old Donnie boy.
Trump is the Hitler of our time. Free DC, free Palestine. Trump is the Hitler of our
Get him.
Free DC, free Palestine. Trump is the Hitler of
They are inside the restaurant at this point.
Free Palestine. Trump is the Hitler of our time. What do you want your legacy to be?
Get him. Tell Donnie up. They got you, Donnie. Look at Marco, little Marco Rubio, the little Cuban boy.
Let's go.
Free DC, free Palestine. Trump is the Hitler of our time.
I love this, y'all. I love it.
Free DC, free Palestine.
Trump can't take it. Look at him. He wants them to be stoned like in the old age. Trump is the Hitler of our time. Free DC. And you know what he wants to do now, y'all? He is sending troops and ICE to Chicago. See, Chicago is a different world. Like Atlanta is another world of its own. Chicago is a different world. They ready, Donnie. They don't mind going to war with you because they got whatever weapons you got, they got them there. Yeah. See, them are different type of soldiers. They street soldiers. They're not too tight when you go messing with them. See, in Atlanta, we're more wrapped together. Our minds are more wrapped together. But in Chicago, you're dealing with a different type of people. And the governor is not afraid neither, Donnie. Go on there with your Hitler self. Go, what you did in DC, you walk into a restaurant like you the king. Go do that in Chicago, Donnie, and see what happens. Now, I know if that was black women heckling him, calling him Hitler, he would for sure have his bodyguards to beat him up. He don't like black people, but thank God it was some beautiful white women that did justice for us. Yeah, beautiful white queens went out there and they said what they had to say and done. He let them pass with it. He may want them thrown up out of there and wanted stones thrown at him, but he would have had our black people pow, pow, bang, bang. They took you down. That's what he would have done to black people, y'all. You know him, right? No, I'm right. Move along to the next video. Donnie getting embarrassed at a restaurant by beautiful white queens. I love it. Donald Trump getting booed at a restaurant. He thought they was going to welcome him. Not. Get him. jdvance, he ready for Trump to die so he can be president. Y'all ready for the next video of Donnie getting embarrassed at a restaurant in DC? He want to be king, but baby, you don't have the people to help you be king. They're going to give it to you raw, baby, with no Vaseline. Take that. Take that. Wasn't you friends with Diddy? Take that. Take that. When I tell you, when I got home from dinner and I saw that, y'all got to know your girl was proud of those queens. I'm proud of them, y'all. We got to celebrate them. They doing justice for America. That's what those queens out there doing. White women, thank you. Thank you. You made me proud. And I was thinking you were scared to step up to the calling. You did justice tonight. Continue fighting for this country, America. Let's move along. So we're going to go back and do some, kind of go back to what Mike Johnson said, that Speaker Johnson said, backs off, claimed that Trump was FBI, was an FBI informant, on Epstein. Well, he pee-popping and trying to walk it back. Let's take a listen.
Speaker Mike Johnson, one of the most powerful Republicans in Washington, made an audacious claim.
He looked like he's about to cry in this
Donald
photo.
Trump cares so deeply about the women who were abused and harmed
That's
by
a lie.
Epstein that Donald Trump was, wait for it, and sit down if you're not.
Thank you, Queen Claudette.
FBI informant.
Oliver, thank you, Queen Claudette.
He was an FBI informant to try to take this stuff down.
He said that. Republican Thomas Massie, who's leading a bipartisan push to release all the Epstein files alongside his colleague, Democrat, Congressman Ro Khanna, had this to say about Republican Speaker Mike Johnson's comment.
The lawyers for the victim said that Donald Trump had been helpful in 2009 in their case by giving them information, but being an informant implies some formal connection and ongoing relationship with the FBI. I don't know what that's all about. I think the speaker needs to clarify that. And if it's a hoax, why was Donald Trump an informant to a hoax?
Yeah, why? So,
Why, Donnie?
again, these are all Republicans. This is Republican Thomas Massie with the $64
Hello,
million
Queen
question, why was he an
Sunshine.
informant to a hoax? So Mike Johnson, getting caught with his sycophant hat on, did go ahead and clean it up. He backed off his claim that Donald Trump was an informant.
You can't walk it back now. You can't walk
Speaker
it back,
of the House,
Mike.
Mike Johnson told reporters this today, quote, "Oh, I don't know if I used the right word." Speaker of the House, guys. I said FBI informant. I'm not sure. I wasn't there. This isn't my lane. I'm just repeating what is common knowledge and what has been out in the public for a long time, end quote. Speaker of the House. Last week, Speaker Mike Johnson.
Mike Johnson, you're not going to get out of this. You're just not going to wiggle yourself out of this because us women, us queens, we're not going to let you out of this. You said that Donnie was an informant. And now you want to walk it back. Because I showed videos. When I first started doing this, it's been a year now. I showed videos of people from Russia and the FBI here, people from the CIA and KGB, everything was talking about Donald Trump. Donald Trump was an enemy of our country. He pretends to love this country, but he does not love this country, in my opinion. Because if y'all think back on those documentaries that I showed you guys, the FBI been on Donald Trump a long time. He could have been an informant, but he's just as much a bad, horrible man as Epstein and a huge sinner that pretends to love our Lord and Savior and walk around and think he's the savior. He's not our savior, MAGA. Wake up. And this right here, this is Virginia Jeffries. She's saying that before she left this earth, saying that she believed Epstein is still alive. Although I did see that video, I didn't believe that was his body, but his brother said that is his body. I don't believe he's dead because there's videos floating around of him in other countries. So he got an excellent twin, somebody that's a carbon copy of him walking around. I can't remember what country it was, but it's a video here on YouTube and it looks just like Epstein. So she may know what she's talking about. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Hold on, okay?
I'm telling you now, Epstein isn't dead. They staged his death because he was too valuable. He held blackmail on some of the most powerful people on earth. Files, videos, confessions.
Even the
They
man in
couldn't
the
risk him
Oval
talking,
Office.
but they also couldn't risk him gone, so they hid him. Stashed him under the protection of the same elite who once paid him to supply them with flesh. And they thought killing me would stop this from coming out.
I told you, I do not believe she unalived herself.
I was one of Jeffrey Epstein's victims. I was 16 when they reeled me in. I worked at Mar-a-Lago, folding towels, cleaning lockers. Trump, he was around, but he was never the threat. The real predator was Ghislaine Maxwell. Epstein's island was hell disguised as paradise. You've heard some names linked to him, but those are just the sacrificial pawns. The real players, the ones they've protected at all costs, are still hiding in plain sight. I'll name two now. The first, a former U.S. president, Barack Obama. Publicly, he's revered. Privately, he was one of the worst. He wasn't there for the girls. He was there for the island boys. Young boys.
Now, I never heard this before, so I don't know if this is true. This is not my saying, y'all.
His Secret Service detail, sometimes with his Hollywood friends, George Clooney and Tom Hanks. The second,
this is not my saying, so don't hold this against me. This is her word.
Seeing him naked. But he didn't come to party. He came to experiment. Genetic experiments, human experiments. I'm telling you now, Epstein isn't.
Those are her words, not my words. Don't hold that to me, because I never heard that before. But I wanted to share that with y'all. This is not my opinion of those men that she just mentioned. And then again, I don't know if Trump had this made. You know how people that's for Trump, they'll make things and put it out, and it may not be what we think it is. So I don't know. I don't think Trump innocent by far at all. No, not at all. Moving along. One moment, please. So we're going to listen to this about God and Trump. And she's going to start with when Trump was 5 years old, okay? But give me a moment. I need to turn the air conditioner on because I am 52 years old and I'm in menopause. One moment. When I came back in tonight, I forgot to turn my air back on. So excuse me, I apologize. So she's going to talk about Trump since the age of 5. So let's take a listen, okay? Let's listen to this beautiful queen.
Since MAGA is out there once again saying their melon-hued messiah is making prayer great again, let's talk about God and Trump, shall we? When Donald was a 5-year-old boy, he was caught throwing rocks at a baby in a crib in the neighboring yard. When he was eligible for the draft while his peers went off to war, he sought medical deferments for an ailment he didn't have. He left his first wife, who said he raped her, for a second wife, who he cheated on with his third wife, who he cheated on with a porn star and a playmate, who he then paid to keep quiet before he lied about the money he paid them. Yes, really. He bragged about grabbing women by the pussy when he wasn't making fun of their looks, their weight, their menstrual cycles, or just calling them dogs. He cheated people out of their money, stole from charities, mocked a disabled reporter, joked about Paul Pelosi being attacked by a man with a hammer, opined about having sex with his daughter, insulted people who stutter, said he didn't want war-wounded amputees in his sight, golfed and tweeted while Americans died from COVID, incited horrific violence in order to install himself in an office he was voted out of, and then pardoned every single person who perpetrated the violence he himself incited. He is named in the files of a notorious sex trafficker he spent decades being best friends with, and relocated said sex trafficker's partner in crime to a bougie Club Fed, cushioned with comforts most of the survivors of her abuse will never know. Yes, really. He's a sociopathic, narcissistic, pathologically lying serial sexual predator and a bigoted, hateful, vitriolic criminal con man who refers to innocent immigrants as vermin while praising murderous despots at the same time.
Hit the like button, please. Thank you.
From the Bible when asked, but will still sell them for profit. He doesn't attend church, but worships instead every Sunday at Our Lady of the Perpetual Mulligan. And he's even had the audacity to refer to himself as the second coming of Jesus.
And that's scary. Blasphemy.
God has turned him into a tomato sauce-stained sloth-like felon with bruised hands, slurred speech, and swollen ankles. God impeached him twice, made him lose re-election once, and visited upon his first term in office a once-in-a-lifetime global pandemic, which ravaged our country along with the rest of the world. And then God convicted him on 34 counts and found him liable of defamation, sexual abuse, and business fraud. God created someone as hateful, impulsive, intolerant, needy, angry, vengeful, malevolent, selfish, sadistic, depraved, amoral, a religious, idiotic, envious,
I like her, y'all.
and evil as Donald Trump, made his first presidency the most infamous in the history of time, and then rained down upon him the hammer of justice in historic fashion, all so that he could return him to the office he once tried to steal? That's God at work, is it? He handed the highest political office on the planet to the physical embodiment of the 7 deadly sins, rolled into a single sadistic, senile septuagenarian who personifies everything Jesus spoke against because he is so devout. The truth is that the slimmest plurality of Americans, comprised of the dumbest, most willfully self-sabotaging fools in this country, put him back in office for a second term because they either couldn't or wouldn't vote for a black woman. But that victory is what the cult will point to as the proof their spiteful, psychopathic savior was sent by God. Really?
They're
that
ill
was chosen
in the mind
by God himself. Well, that's straight up bullshit. But it's also what they have to tell themselves, because despite everything he's done and everything he said, despite what they can see with their own eyes and hear with their own ears, MAGA will still believe what they need to believe. Because the truth is, this was never about God. These people don't worship God. They worship Trump.
She had a word for us. Thank you, JoJo.
Since
Thank
MAGA
you.
is out there once again.
I like her. JoJo just fed us. Yes, I just came from dinner, but honey, this right here was better than the food I had, and that was good food. Where was that? She just fed us. Thank you, JoJo. Thank you. Moving along. So these are 16 brave voices expose Trump's abuse. Well, before I get to that, let me say something. The video I showed before JoJo, those are not my opinions or my thoughts. It is fact Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. It is fact President Barack Obama is not in the Epstein files. It is fact that President Joe Biden is not in the Epstein files. It is fact that Donald Trump was in Epstein's call log, flight logs. I showed y'all that. It is fact that he was in Jeffrey Epstein's black book. I showed y'all that. And I showed y'all other things that got leaked. Those are not my opinions of President Barack Obama or the great President Joe Biden. None of that is my opinion. And when I first watched that, I did not watch the entirety. I should have watched the entirety before I got on it, because those are not my thoughts or opinions. That is of somebody else, and I was giving you somebody else's view of what is going on. So now we're going to move along. It is fact that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. There was 1,000 FBI agents that went through and redacted Donald Trump's name or anything about Donald Trump in it. I just showed you a video yesterday, day before yesterday, that one of the people that work for the DOJ hot mic'd, video recorded of him saying that they were told that all of the Republicans will be redacted out of the Epstein files. I want to straighten this out, because I'm not going to put out lies on people that were not in the Epstein files. That's not my intention. And even with Donnie, I'm going to state the facts and even some of my opinion. And my opinion is I believe all of this stuff about Donald Trump. He hasn't shown me anything different. Donald Trump, as far as we know, actually know, has SA'd up to 26 women. It could be more, but far as we know. But I do believe that he has done something to teen girls who have teen girls working at their spa and said on the Air Force One that Jeffrey Epstein stole girls from Mar-a-Lago spa. That's not a regular way to talk about women nor girls. That's pimp talk 101. And that is my opinion. One moment, please. Move along. Right now, we're going to listen to 16 brave queens' voice. Their voices exposed Trump's abuse, and Epstein was his best friend. What do we need to do? Believe women first. One moment.
He groped me. He absolutely groped me. And he just slipped his hand there, touching my private part. He turned to me and embraced me and gave me a kiss on the lips. And I remember being shocked, and because I would have just thought to shake somebody's hand, but that was his first response with me.
Donald Trump, the monster.
It was a real shock when all of a sudden his hands were all over me. But when he
Donald
started
Trump,
putting his hand up my skirt. And
Donald Trump.
That was it.
The person on my right, who, unbeknownst to me at that time, was Donald Trump, put their hand up my skirt. He did touch my vagina through my underwear.
As the women walked
Fix it,
across
Lord.
the table, Donald Trump would look up under their skirt and, comment on whether they had underwear or didn't have underwear. I didn't want to have to walk across the table. I wanted to get out of there.
Then his hand touched the right inside of my breast. I felt intimidated and I felt powerless.
Lana was standing right next to him when he touched my butt. She also caught him the first encounter that we had.
I don't really care if he finds me attractive or not, or apparently he found me attractive enough 11 years ago. I think that he's saying there that only pretty women get assaulted. Is that what he's saying? It's hard sometimes to decipher.
When we entered the room, he grabbed each of us tightly in a hug and kissed each one of us without asking
permission. After that, I received another call from either Donald or a male calling on his behalf, offering me $10,000. His actions are a huge testament to his character, that of uncontrollable misogyny, entitlement, and being a sexual assault apologist. I'm, sitting there in my robe and having, my makeup and hair done and everything, and he comes walking in, and I was just like, oh my goodness, what is he doing back here? I saw him walk into the dressing room. He just came strolling right in. There was no second to put a robe on or any sort of clothing or anything. Some girls were topless, other girls were naked, waltzing in. When we're naked, or half naked, in a very physically vulnerable position, and he came to me and started kissing me open-mouthed as he was pulling me towards him. He then grabbed my shoulder and began kissing me again very aggressively and placed his hand on my breast. And I said, come on, man, get real. He repeated my words back to me, get real, as he began thrusting his genitals. He groped me. He absolutely groped me. And he just slipped his hand there, touching my private part. He turned to me and embraced me and gave me a kiss on the lips. And I remember being shocked, and because I would have just thought to shake somebody's hand, but that was his first response with me.
It was a real shock when all of a sudden his hands were all over me. But it's when he started putting his hand up my skirt. And that was it. That was it.
The person on my right, who, unbeknownst to me at that time, was Donald Trump, put their hands up my skirt. He did touch my vagina through my underwear. As the women walked across the table, Donald Trump would look up under their skirt and, comment on whether they had underwear or didn't have underwear. I didn't want to have to walk across the table. I wanted to get out of there.
Then his hand touched the right inside of my breast. I felt intimidated and I felt powerless.
Lana was standing right next to him when he touched my butt. She also caught him the first encounter that we had.
I don't really care if he finds me attractive or not, or apparently he found me attractive enough 11 years ago. I think that he's saying there that only pretty women get assaulted. Is that what he's saying? It's hard sometimes to decipher.
When we entered the room, he grabbed each of us tightly.
Y'all get the point. Don is not a good man. Melania, your husband is a monster. And I think you knew that already when you married him. You wanted to be a U.S. citizen. You didn't care what he did. I don't doubt if Melania knows a lot more than what we think she knows, y'all. Because you don't stay married to somebody that long that's a monster and then not rub on you. I don't believe she's a good person either. One moment, please.
Read reports that Donald Trump was involved in literally millions or maybe even billions of
Hit the
dollars
like
worth
button,
of transactions,
please.
wire transfers with Jeffrey Epstein. Are those accurate?
Yes, Trump, I think at one point I had the figure of $1.5 billion of money laundering went through Trump real estate. And the thing with real estate regulations is they're very, very lax. So it's very easy to launder money through real estate. All you need to do is put together a limited liability company, which is very, very simple. It only costs maybe a couple $100. Anyone can do it. And you call it the XYZ Corporation and make it anonymous. And then you make an all cash transaction. So nothing has to go through the banks. If that happens, and it happened a lot with Donald Trump, in effect, any party can launder money through real estate. And as early as 1984, I was able to document a man named David Bogadin, who was linked to the Russian mafia, came into Trump Tower. Trump Tower in Midtown Manhattan had just opened the previous year, and Bogadin put down $6 million in cash and said he'd take 5 condos. That, by the way, that's the equivalent of about $30 million today. So it's as simple as that to launder money. And the Russian mafia and affiliate. It's important to understand also that the Russian mafia is really an arm of Russian intelligence. They're not at odds with it in the way the American mafia was with the FBI. They are part of Russian intelligence. So to me, this is just an enormously grave breach of national security.
I've read reports that Donald Trump was involved in literally millions or maybe even billions of dollars worth of transactions, wire transfers with Jeffrey Epstein. Are those accurate?
Yes, and Trump, I mean, I think at one point I had the figure of $1.5 billion of money laundering went through Trump real estate. And the thing with real estate regulations is they're very, very lax. So it's very easy to launder money through real estate. All you need to do is put together a limited liability company, which is very, very simple. It only costs maybe a couple $100.
And do y'all recall that Trump and Epstein fell out over real estate? Over a real estate home that Jeffrey Epstein was going to get the house for $30 million. And Trump went behind his back and got it for $40 million. But come to find out, Trump didn't have that kind of money. Trump got the money from a Russian. Melania, you're from Russia. What do you know, girl? Inquiring minds want to know, Melania. What do you know? You know a lot. You may sit there and speak improper grammar. Don't speak English well, so y'all might as well deport her too. She's an immigrant that does not speak English well at all. You want to talk about people that are Hispanic, Latinos? Well, Melania Trump doesn't speak good English, y'all. She speaks her language, and she's an immigrant.
About the most prolific sex trafficking ring in our nation's history outside of enslavement, right? We're talking about hundreds, maybe even 1,000 women, girls. And
hit the like button, please.
Sends a message to all victims right now, to all the women, to all the girls who have been told that they should, why didn't you just come forward, or watching how this unravels? And right now, it looks like the highest levels of our government are continuing their pain, are continuing to hide, and they're continuing to protect their wealthy, powerful friends, even when their friends are dead. And since Jeffrey Epstein isn't here, we know that other people have to be the reason why they're still doing protection and obscuring this. We're talking about the most prolific sex trafficking ring in our nation's history outside of enslavement, right? We're talking about hundreds, maybe even 1,000 women, girls.
She said since slavery, yeah, that was an ex-trafficking ring back then. Not only did the white men take advantage of the black women, they even would take advantage of the black men. Then they go home to their wives and kiss their wives and make love to their wives after they don't put their thing in somebody's mud that did not want it in their mud. Why stick your stick in mud where it's not wanted? Tell me. Mediocre white man, tell me. Donald Trump, who else in the Republican Party like to stick their stick in mud where it's not wanted? All those Republican men, MAGA Republican men, Grindr app is very popular amongst them.
Well.
Queen Christina
you know,
talks
it's been a very
tea.
interesting last 24 hours, dear. The red hats over there, and the twatter streets, and the not-so-trues, the things they try to do to prove that the orange dude is, well, not so crude. You see, they believe that that letter is fake. They say the signature is not correct, but anyone with two eyes can see. In comparison, baby, that signature came from Daddy. And now they're even having to admit that he's as dumb as shit, and he probably couldn't even have came up with that little soliloquy. Oh, baby. So now they're deciding that he's just too dumb to write something that clever, and that couldn't have possibly been him. It's not his signature, friend. And you're going to have
I love Christina's voice too.
That she be the press secretary. She's going to get
I think she's such a beauty.
Call it a hoax in some kind of way. They're going to insinuate that that letter was planted there. And the red hats, they don't care. They'll swallow that big red pill. You know the fucking deal. The only problem here, dear, is that birthday letter and that birthday book and the year that it was compiled don't quite line up with the conspiracy theory that it was planted there, dear. Considering the fact
Hit the
that
like button, please.
that letter was at play with that birthday book, the orange guy, the big backbone spur Biff, well, he hadn't even dipped his bone spurs in to the political field, friend. It was way before he had dreams of being president. As a matter of fact, it was back when he was an avid donator to the Democratic Party, dear. So is that what he means by it's a Democratic hoax? That back in the day when he was involved, folks, he was a Democrat and all of that. But either way, they're going to make the red hats believe today that some Democratic spy way back in the day had his eye on this orange guy for no apparent reason and decided to set him up in some kind of way. Go ahead and believe that if you want to, okay?
The red hats believe that, honey. They do. They're slow.
Well.
The red hats, they ride the short bus, y'all. They believe that. They'll believe Donnie. If Donnie told him to go jump in the seat, they will go do it. They would. If Donnie told him to eat his stuff out of his pamper, his diaper, they would do it. If Donnie told them to take all their money out of their bank account, how these bootleg mega churches do, that don't really believe in God, oh, he got those kind of priests that's been praying over him too. Do the same thing. If Donnie told them to take all their money out their bank account and give it to him, they would do it. Christina Talks Tea. Give her a follow on Instagram. You won't regret it. I love her wisdom. I love her. Jasmine Crockett, girl.
People hate it when American families have access to healthcare. They hate it when American families have access to healthy foods. They hate it when American families have access to affordable housing. They hate it when American families have access to affordable childcare because these people simply hate America. Nearly everything they have done makes Americans less safe and less healthy. The consequences of their actions are simple. More children will die and have. More children will go hungry. More children will live in extreme poverty. More children living with disabilities will lose access to school-based therapies and services. So, Dr. Fink, you're here to rubber stamp this agenda, an agenda that's so unpopular, the Republicans are deciding to cheat in next year's elections. These people hate it when American families have access to healthcare. They hate it when American families
Of course they do. Who would be willing to take away your Medicaid and Medicare if they care about you? Who would be willing to take away the children's school lunches if they actually cared about you? MAGA, that's you too. They take it from you too. So stop fronting like you're rich. You're just as average probably as I am, but probably lower than I am. I don't get food stamps and welfare. And I don't think it should be taken from the ones that actually need it. So MAGA, if you need it, I feel sorry for you too. I do. Why take from people when they're in need? Donald Trump doesn't care. Magic Mike that rocks the mic, right? That like black eggplant. He doesn't care neither. Stay off the Grindr app, please.
Well. So once again, somebody that was close to Daddy and the Kushner's
hit the like button, please.
His son-in-law boo that Daddy decided to give clemency to has found himself in a bit of trouble. Yes, you see, back when Daddy Dumpy Pants was in the White House the first time, right before he was to walk out the door, he decided to provide clemency to this guy, Jonathan Braun. Like I said, Mr. Jonathan Braun has very close ties to the Kushners, dear. You know, Daddy Dumpy Pants' in-laws. Either way, he provided clemency close to his last day to this guy. This guy was charged with trafficking of drugs. That's right, a drug trafficker, dear. But he is a white guy, and he had ties to
mediocre white guy.
So Daddy decided to rip out his shorty in the dark of the night and write clemency for Jonathan, baby. After only serving a year of a 20-year sentence, dear. Well, it just so happens that Mr. Braun has found himself in trouble once again, quite a few times since he got his clemency and his release, friend. That's right, he has recently been arrested again for all sorts of things, dear. From groping the family's nanny to, well, not paying tolls when he travels around, but also being drunk and disorderly. He even punched a gentleman in the face at synagogue, maybe. He tried to beat a nurse with his IV pole.
Oh my God.
And he pushed a child only.
Oh, Donnie won't have a problem with that. He don't care about the children.
Ground, causing the child to have marks.
And Donnie gave him clemency.
What a great guy. Right? Well, Daddy seemed to think so. Daddy seemed to think he was a really great guy, even though he had been convicted of and pled guilty to trafficking over 230,000 pounds of marijuana into the United States, dear. Daddy thought that was okay. You know, I guess he thinks it's okay that this guy has a problem keeping his hands to himself. He has a problem paying his bills. He has a problem not pushing children around. I wonder if the orange guy will find it in his heart today to once again have some pardon or some clemency at play for a close white friend. It's given the same thing he done this go round when he got to White House Town with that Sharpie, baby. Those pardons. Like for Ross Ulbricht, the Silk Road guy, you know, who was convicted of trafficking not only substances, weapons, and people, dear. Oh, yes. Oh, my.
Donnie boy don't care.
Daddy Dumpy Pants sure does seem to have a soft side
for criminals.
Traffickers, baby. Of all sorts of products, I guess you could say, since they do view our bodies as something that they can just use and dispose of when they're done. It says something, hon. It says something indeed. I mean, how many more articles do you need to read? Just last week, 4 people who were close to the GOP were arrested, dear, for their dirty proclivities. Well.
I love Christina Talks Tea. You can find her on Instagram. Go and give her a follow. She's on TikTok. Everything on TikTok. She's on YouTube. So subscribe to her on YouTube. Christina Talks Tea. It's CHRISTINATALKST. Christina Talks Tea. So this right here is about Anonymous, and they trolls Donald Trump. Want to take a listen? I got you. Hold on.
Latest thing happened. If you don't know, Anonymous, America's favorite hacker group, Our Brothers in Arms Anonymous, got online and posted on, I believe this was
hit
on
the
X,
like button. Thank you.
Hey at Grok, which Grok again is Elon Musk's AI.
Right.
Who is currently the biggest criminal in Washington, D.C., and is linked, partner, or associated with various traffickers, genociders. Is that a word?
Well, it is today.
Okay. Yeah. Organized crime, fraudsters, and Soviet or Soviet-adjacent individuals.
Grok took one guess.
Dude. Anonymous, way to set up the pitch, man.
Yeah.
Nick, what did Grok say?
Grok said, based on verified associations, Donald Trump fits with Epstein links, Tate Brothers aid, trafficking accusations, Russia ties, Soviet adjacent, fraud convictions, organized crime probes, and support for figures tied to alleged genocide.
I mean, yes.
The trolling.
And it's Elon's AI.
It's AI, for Christ's sakes. Yeah. It's the funniest shit ever. This has just been a wonderful morning of trolling, and I'm hoping it continues. Yeah. The greatest thing happened. If you don't know.
All right. Let's do a little housekeeping. Hit that like button. Come on, y'all. I need 25 more likes before we get up out of here tonight. We ain't get out here no time, so we got a lot to cover, baby. Because I come to give you what you want. I give you what you need. Satisfaction guarantee. It comes from me, baby. That's why I'm here for you. We all know that Donald Trump is the biggest criminal in D.C. He's the biggest criminal in this country. He has been convicted of 34 felonies. And that's not my opinion. That's fact, baby. He wanted E. Jean Carroll's $83 million case she won against him, that he owes her $83 million. But Donnie Boy wanted to throw it out of the, throw it away. Because he's been trying to erase history a lot lately. But the judge said, no, baby, Donnie, you got to pay E. Jean Carroll her $83 million. See, Donnie thinks that he's that powerful that everybody's going to lick the boot and kiss the ring. But Donnie, nobody's kissing your ring, you funky MFer. Nobody. That judge told you you're going to pay E. Jean Carroll because you are A-P-E-D E. Jean Carroll. Yes, Donald Trump, R-A-P-E-D E. Jean Carroll. Pay her. F you, pay her. One moment, please. Please hit the like button. I need 20 more likes. Please. And this lady, she is one of my favorite in Congress. I love her. I love her hair. I just love this lady.
Republicans are mad that I called for them to release the damn files. They tried to admonish me, but you know what? We are not going to stop demanding that we bring justice and that we expose the criminal and monstrous activity and everybody who was involved in the Epstein sex crimes. Release the damn files. Let's say it over and over again.
Release the files.
Members are reminded to refrain from engaging in personalities towards the president.
Once again, Republicans on the Rules Committee blocked a vote on the bipartisan Massey Connor bill to release the Epstein files. Covering up the files just protects the criminal activity of pedophiles and the people who participated in those heinous acts. Epstein told the young girls and women, I have the banks and I have the government. You have no power. Let's prove him wrong. I'm asking that just 2 more of my Republican colleagues sign the petition to expose the rich and powerful monsters that were part of the Epstein sex circle. Trump is engaged in a cover-up. He's forcing Republicans to ignore their own moral conscience when he blocks the Massey Connor bill. What's he hiding? Well, just in the last 24 hours, the card that Trump said didn't exist was released. It's a disgusting, degrading birthday card that Trump sent to Epstein, calling him a pal and stating that they shared a wonderful secret. And if that's not enough, Trump had the audacity to imply that domestic violence is not a crime. He said if a man has a little fight with the wife, they say this was a crime. Consistent with that, he's cut federal funds that support victims of sexual crimes, including domestic violence. Trump was found liable in court for sexually abusing E. Jean Carroll. And yesterday, a court upheld the $83.3 million defamation jury award against President Trump. Women are not safe in Trump's America. So yes, Americans deserve a vote on the Massey Connor bill to know what else is Trump hiding. The survivors' painful stories brought many to tears last week.
Hit the like button.
Their pain made us cry, but we cannot stop at tears. We owe them the justice they asked us for. Release the damn files.
Members are reminded to refrain from engaging in personalities towards the president.
This is
Members
horrible.
are also reminded that profanity.
They are covering for Donald Trump. This is dangerous.
Republicans are mad that I called for them to release the damn files. They tried to admonish me, but you know what? We are not going to stop demanding that we bring justice and that we expose the criminal and monstrous activity and everybody who was involved in the Epstein sex crimes. Release the damn files.
It really baffles me that the people in my chat that support Donnie Boy, you supporting a pedo. You are supporting somebody that just may have taken advantage of children. Everything that Donald Trump is, if you support him, you are. You are everything that he is. So when you look at your children, think about that. You're disappointing your children supporting somebody like Donald Trump. Let's take a listen to Queen Jasmine Crockett.
Obviously, this is concerning to have a potential pedophile as a president. That is concerning, right? But this is like even bigger than him. I want people to understand the information that we were given about.
Come on, hit the like button, beautiful people.
The information we were given about our own federal government and how high of a level we're talking about as far as like them being in cahoots. We know that JP Morgan Chase ended up paying out a large settlement because they basically kind of looked the other way as there were these ridiculous wire transfers that were going by. We know that there were fake corporations that were set up. We know that, or at least we've been told that there were fake immigration documents that were put together so that women from other countries could end up over here. We know that there were allegedly fake marriages.
Was that you, Melania?
And it reeks through every single level of government. And it's one of those reasons that these survivors have been quiet for so long, right? Because literally they would walk in and they would see these pictures of Epstein with all of these powerful people from all over the world. And then he would threaten them and say, if you say anything, just know I know everybody, right? And so I think if we are going to prevent Epstein 2.0, or if Epstein 2.0 is taking place right now, I think it's important that we nip this in the bud right now and we learn what we did not know and we put some safeguards in place to prevent this type of thing from happening. Like, obviously, this is concerning to have a potential pedophile as a president. That is concerning.
A potential pedophile as a president. What an embarrassment. What an embarrassment that Donald J. Trump is in the Epstein files. What an embarrassment that the FBI that's supposed to protect the American people went through the FBI, went through the Epstein files and redacted Donald Trump out of them. That should be a crime. What an embarrassment that Donald Trump was sending wire transfers of a probably, I think it says $1 billion to Jeffrey Epstein through a Russian bank. What an embarrassment. What an embarrassment that Donald Trump has a personality of Hitler. What an embarrassment. What an embarrassment that Donald Trump has 34 felonies. President Joe Biden doesn't have felonies. President Barack Obama doesn't have felonies. President Bush and the other Bush and Clinton, which I'm not proud of Clinton right now. No, I'm not. More of Jasmine Crockett. One moment.
It doesn't want you to focus on things such as his involvement with the Epstein files. You see, the president doesn't want you to focus on things that he promised on the campaign trail.
She's such a beauty.
To lower costs for the American people. The president doesn't want you to focus on his failed secretary of HHS and the fact that we know almost 100 children thus far have died from something like measles. He doesn't want you to focus on the things that truly matter to the American people that are trying to survive now. Instead, again, he wants to divide and distract. The president doesn't want you to focus on things such as his involvement with the Epstein files. You see, the president doesn't
He forbid the American people to talk about the Epstein files. He prefer you to shut up. He prefer you don't even ask him about it. But we prefer to know the truth, Donald Trump. And we, the American people, deserve to know the truth. We've earned that right. Because you're getting our taxpayer dollars and you're doing whatever you want to with the taxpayer dollars. Those golf trips. That's money that can go to the kids' schools meals that you're taking from. The elderly that's going to be kicked out of their nursing homes. That's where that money needs to go. You don't need to play golf. You cheat even at golf. You cheat at everything you do, Donnie. You're lousy. You're fat. You're funky. You're not liked by anyone. You're liked by the low IQ people, the non-educated people. You said you love the non-educated. Well, your non-educated people, they got low IQ like you. Yeah, you, Donnie. You low IQ. You got bad genes, and they do too. More of Jasmine Crockett.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. And I have to make sure I don't
hit
get
the
in
like
trouble
button,
back home in
please.
Texas. So let me be really clear. These maps, racist. The fact that they are trying to silence Black and minority voters in a majority minority state, racist. Pulling
hello, Queen. Aloha,
all
Kitty.
of the economic engines out of certain districts, also racist. The bottom line is this is a Republican-led and racist attempt to make sure that we silence the voices of Black and brown people. Now, I want to give y'all some numbers because I don't think that y'all fully understand how bad this is. Texas, number one, has more African Americans than any other state in this country. Right now, under the proposed maps, they want to make it to where Texas only has 2 districts in which African Americans have an opportunity to choose their representation. What does that mean for Black voices in Texas? That means that it is approximately 1/5 the voting strength of their white Texan neighbors. That is what it's going to be, not 3/5, but we are going to be reduced to 1/5. So my colleagues have laid out a number of things that they believe is going on as to why it is that this is happening. But I'm going to start with number one, Trump himself. He's racist.
Yes, he is.
I said that during the campaign. Anybody that would adopt the objectives of Project 2025 truly believes in a racist ideology. But also, he has been very clear about retribution. Retribution because Black people had the audacity to have some sense and didn't want to go back to a time where Black unemployment was at a historic high like it is right now. Retribution because Black people didn't want even less access to health care in a country that continues to have an abysmal maternal mortality rate as it relates to Black women. Retribution.
Donald Trump hates
Black
people
women
didn't
want to endure a supercharged police state like we are seeing with the invasion of Black-run cities. Retribution because Black women somehow became the most educated demographic.
Amen. That's country. A fact.
They are trying to drown our voices out, but we will not be silenced. They've tried to bury us before, not knowing that we were seeds. We will grow and we will be resilient, just as we have time and time before. The final note that I'll mark for you is I know what we can do when we just come together as a country. Because as it's been stated over and over, 60 years ago, we ended up with the Voting Rights Act. And you know who signed that into law? A good Texan, LBJ. Texas can do better. Texas historically has done better. And so while we are fighting this in the courts, please believe, just know that the fight that the people are going to put up in the state of Texas is going to be a big fight no matter what happens, and we will win.
Because when we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. There was a powerful message from our girl, VP Kamalaharris, the one that actually won the election. And Donnie said from his big mouth with those paper thin lips that the election was rigged in his favor. Do y'all not recall him saying that? I showed you that several times on this channel, so don't give me that. Several times. He even said Elon Musk knows those voter machines better than anyone. Elon, you going down too. You better step up and make a deal with the feds so you don't have to lose everything. Because you're about to lose your job. Yes, VP Kamalaharris actually won the election. It was stolen from her. And I'm voicing my opinion on that. They pulled all kind of stunts, especially here in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia as well. You pulled stunts in North Carolina, Philadelphia. Y'all know Trump was not going to win Philadelphia. He won Philadelphia. Oh, you're kidding me. Throw stones somewhere else because it ain't working. Donald Trump is the biggest compulsive liar I ever seen in my life and the biggest criminal I ever heard of in my life. 34 felonies. You tell me somebody else. Al Capone don't even have 34 felonies. Jeffrey Dahmer never had 34 felonies, and the list goes on, all the bad criminals and the bad seeds and the bad genes. Donald Trump is the worst of any. He's bad genes. He's Satan's seed. He is the Antichrist, if you ask me. And that's my opinion. His actions are facts of it. I don't even beg to differ with you, because I know what I'm talking about. You know it. He's a monster.
I'm going to show you how to access the entire Jeffrey Epstein book. I just spent the past 2 hours going through this book. It's absolutely fucking horrific. I think everyone should look at it. Everyone should be able to access it. And right now, a lot of people are confused on how to. So I'm going to show you how to do this really quick. See this text on the screen? You're going to take a screenshot in 3, 2, 1.
And flip it over, because I didn't have time to flip this stuff over.
Now you're going to go to your photos where you just took the screenshot, and you're going to take your thumb and you're going to click and hold exactly where you see the text. That will highlight the text, and you can have the option, a pop-up will come, to copy. Copy it and paste it into your browser. The minute you do that, it is going to open up this website right here. This is the Oversight Committee website. You're going to scroll down, and then you're going to see a button that says click here. And you're going to click there. Don't worry, this website is fine. This is literally the Oversight Committee website.
Some of the files is in my members
Google Docs.
only.
This first file right here, that is the birthday book. You're going to click there, and you're going to have access to the birthday book. Guys, it's fucking horrific. It's fucking horrific. It's bad. Every single person involved needs to be arrested. My name is Mercedes Chandler. I encourage you to go through this. Every single last one of you. Give me a follow or you won't see my face again. Thank you. Goodbye. I am going to show you how to act.
You can even do replay. Those of you on replay, pause it, screenshot it. You can flip it from your iPhone if you have an iPhone. Some of this stuff is already in the members only. So get you a membership. My memberships are $4.99 for the Ruby's membership, and the Diamonds membership is $9.99. One moment.
Major news right now, the federal government has officially launched a major operation in Chicago called Operation Midway Blitz. According to ABC 7 Chicago, a local news station, this is an immigration crackdown targeting the Chicago area. Expect ICE officers to surge into Chicago over the next several hours and several days.
And the government said they will be arrested. They have no problem arresting ICE.
Undocumented immigrants living in Chicago currently. Now, this does not include the possible National Guard operation that the Trump administration has long been planning for, set to take place over the course of several weeks. This is separate and apart from that. But local faith leaders and other local leaders are blasting the administration's decision to move forward with this immigration operation nonetheless, and they expect to continue fighting back and continue talking out about it. But it is happening, and it's happening now. So spread the word. I'll do a full breakdown on my Substack, linked in bio. Subscribe for free. And as always, follow along for all the news you need to know about. I'll have much more coming very soon. We have some major news right now. The federal government has...
Donald Trump is sending his goonies to Chicago. He's been warned by the governor. Yeah, he's been warned by the people in the Senate. But he got to show he got the bigger balls. But we're going to see who got the bigger balls. Because Chicago, they said they're going to arrest ICE for kidnapping people. Yeah. Because it is against the law to go jack people up, throw them to the ground, throw them in a car without saying or showing any warrants. That's abuse as well. So many different forms of abuse. Some of the people of ICE have done so many forms of abuse to women. You can just guess some of them. And a lot of those people, we don't even know where the women and children are that they take. Or they put the men in animal cages like they're animals and they're human beings. But their only crime is they're brown, and some of them are black. While Donald Trump sits in the Oval Office, he has 34 felonies, the biggest criminal ever in America.
So this is disturbing. The New York Times, I think many of us thought about this as well. I know that many of you thought this as well. The New York Times is now reporting that Venezuelan boat that Trump blew up just a few days ago was indeed full of civilians. There was no gang members.
It was not any gang members at all. No DURGS.
It's getting worse. It's going to get worse. Folks, let me know what you think about this in the comments.
You know why it's going to get worse? Because Donald Trump has the mind of Hitler. Donald Trump is old and senile and crusty. And as you get old, you lose your effing mind. Not all. Not if you take care of yourself. But if you sit around like Donnie has done, ate nothing but cheeseburgers from Burger King and McDonald's and getting fatter and fatter, got to put on a girdle to hide that fat around his waist while he got a booty do. Donald Trump is old, senile. His father had frontal dementia. What do you think is going on with Donnie? He has the brain of Hitler. What do you think is going on with Donnie? What do you think? And he's evil. He has the energy in the mindset of Satan. The Antichrist is Donald Trump. That's my opinion. And in this video, I'm going to show you Donald Trump speaks a bunch of jibber jabber.
President, we learned this morning that we've lost 78,000 manufacturers.
He's so ugly. Oh my God, I hate looking at Trump.
Well, one thing we have is, we have the interest rates are too high. That was, a matter of the Fed.
He never answers the question.
So many different elements aren't included yet. And one of the things we've learned, and we learned that the hard way, watching over the last few months, are the corrections that people have been making. They'll say you're losing jobs, and then they say, by the way, we have a correction a month later of 100,000 jobs.
He's lying.
They actually had a correction once of 850.
Jobs are down bad.
Mr. President, we learned this morning that we've lost 78,000 manufacturing jobs this year. How do you explain it?
Well, one thing we have is, we have the interest rates are too high. That was,
interest rate has nothing to do with jobs being lost.
So many different elements aren't included yet. And one of the things we've learned, and we learned that the hard way, watching over the last few months, are the corrections that people have been making. They'll say you're losing jobs, and then they say, by the way, we have a correction a month later of,
They didn't say that, y'all. That is lying.
Once of 850,000 jobs.
If you notice, instead of his nose getting bigger like Pinocchio, the more he lies, the more he becomes much more uglier. It's that simple. He gets more ugly. The ugliest man in the world. So anyone who will execute people at sea, do a flyover during the victim speaking out, send troops into cities he feels threatened by, deport people to third country prisons, or illegally fire members of agencies, would do anything to stay in power. And y'all better know what I'm talking about. You better remember that. This fool, Donald Trump, this buffoon would do anything. He's a bad seed of his family. He's a rotten orange in the fruit bowl. Throw him out. Oh, it's playing music. Sorry, y'all. This is a check that Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein, they paid for a girl, a woman. So it said, new page from Epstein's birthday book. Epstein and a longtime Mar-a-Lago member joking about selling a fully depreciated woman to Donald Trump for $22,500. So Donnie, the pimp, the PIMP is you. You tricking too? You paid $22,500 for a woman. What did you pay for Melania? I'm just asking. I don't know if you did, if you didn't, boy. So this is the from the Epstein birthday book. This is the photo of the check. This is who you voted for, Mac, and this is who you are. You're slime like Donald Trump. You no good, you no good, you no good. You weren't raised right. Donnie was not raised right. He come from bad genes. His granddaddy a bootlegger and a PIMP. His daddy was no good neither. he took that bad money from his daddy and bought real estate and became even a bigger monster. And he hates black people too. Where do you think Dunny get it from? He got it from his pappy and his grandpappy. Bad seed and ugly, all of them. Uh-oh, sorry, y'all. Hold on.
Breaking news, the Trump DOJ is trying to keep the lid on two names associated to Jeffrey Epstein and his money trail. Court docs show that in late 2018, right after the Miami Herald cracked open Epstein's secret plea deal, you know, the one where Pam Bondi was the attorney general. He wired $100,000 to one associate and $250,000 to another associate, both people he'd already protected from prosecution. Now, prosecutors later told a New York judge that those just weren't associates. They were part of the crew associated with scheduling and arranging encounters with underage girls at Epstein's Manhattan and Palm Beach mansions. And the timing, days after new allegations resurfaced. That looks a lot less like generosity and more like witness control. But here's the twist. The Pam Bondi DOJ now says that those names should stay sealed, and they're citing privacy concerns. NBC News is fighting to unseal them, arguing Epstein's gone and the case is over. Judge Richard Berman has until September 12th to decide whether the world finally learns who Epstein was wiring up or if the cover-up stays locked. The story is developing. Breaking news, the Trump DOJ is trying to keep
the DOJ is just like Donnie.
Associated to Jeffrey Epstein.
And the Epstein Cash Patel is just like Donnie. They're no good. They're covering for Donnie boy. So that makes you a criminal too. So how are you going to be the DOJ and the FBI and you doing harm to the American people? Will somebody explain that in the chat, please? Mag, explain that. Please. Explain it to me. Don't say he hasn't done it. We all know you're drinking the Jim Jones Kool-Aid, but Lord, have a mind of your own. Oh, I can't play music. Okay. So this is Jasmine Maxwell and Donald Trump. They go way back, all the way back to her daddy. So Donald Trump was friends with Jasmine's father. That's how far they go back. So he claimed he didn't know Epstein. You knew Epstein, boo. Because you knew Jasmine, boo, his girl. The one he didn't want to get with. He wanted to get with young girls. And it was said to you too, Donnie, boy. So I'm going to show you, then I'm going to read it to you. Donald Trump looked like an ugly squirrel. Look at those eyebrows. He's just ugly. He's been ugly all his life. Melania didn't marry you for your looks, boy. She wanted the money, money, money. So it says, Trump loves to deny he knew Robert Maxwell. I just showed you Donnie in the photo. He has been friends with her father before he passed away. Trump loves to deny he knew Robert Maxwell, just like he loves to deny knowing half of the people photographers standing next to him. But funny how billionaires on sinking ships and real estate hustlers in debt somehow always find each other at the party. And then swear later they never met. You remember Donnie said he didn't know Epstein. Bam! All the photos of Donnie is all over the internet with Epstein, from parties, etc. He said he never been to Epstein Island. But you all over the flight log, Donnie. And Epstein had in his little black book 13 different numbers for Donnie boy. What are you doing with 13 phone numbers that you had at that time, Donnie? Is it PIMP or you was moving some dirty, the white stuff that your son be using, allegedly? What was it, Donnie? We know you worse than the 34 felonies. You worse than that. We know. Okay. So it says, millionaire Peter Thiel met with billionaire pedo Jeffrey Epstein several times to talk about a I don't know how to pronounce it, surveillance project. So Peter Thiel, it was said Peter Thiel didn't know Jeffrey Epstein too. It's surprised everybody say they don't know Jeffrey Epstein. They know Jeffrey Epstein. They did business with Jeffrey Epstein. So this is Peter Thiel, Project 2025. The one that help jdvance get to where he was. jdvance, the one that used to wear the blonde wig, in the carry the handbag and the plaid skirt and all. JD, where those old knee pads at? Where they at, boy? Was you Peter Thiel's knee pads? So this is ugly Peter Thiel. It's like everybody that was around Trump was just ugly, demons. On demon time, demons. You knew Jeffrey Epstein, just like Trump said he didn't know Jeffrey Epstein. Peter Thiel, you knew him. And Peter Thiel is very dangerous, y'all. Just like Donnie. Criminals. But been able to cover up for so long. But Donnie finally got his felonies. And more is to come on Donald J. Trump. So let's not forget the prosecutor who gave Epstein a secret sweetheart deal back in 2007, allowing Epstein to continue assaulting girls, was rewarded by Trump with a cabin spot. Alex Acosta gave Epstein immunity. That's a fact. That's not my opinion, Magda. It's a fact. But you don't know the difference between opinions and facts because you're dumb. Just like Donald Trump, low IQ and bad genes. Yeah. That's Alex Acosta. He gave Epstein immunity. And he didn't even tell the victims about the deal he gave to Epstein. But they were the victims. He didn't include them on anything. It was a cover-up for Epstein. And he continued to cover up for Epstein. So Donnie decided he wanted to punish Epstein because Epstein was going to put the law on him for money laundering. That's not my opinion. It's facts. Woof. Mention all of it. He was an autobiographer for Epstein and Donnie Boy. Donnie Boy, own up to your shit. Oh, you never will. You was told by Roy, the guy that died, the gay male that you was really close with, to never own up to anything, to blame it on someone else. What a bad example to teach Donnie Boy those things. But anyway, let's hear more about jdvance. Sweet Pants, jdvance, Sugarfoot.
We have some news right now. Many in the MAGA movement, including Vice President J.D. Vance, have egg on their face today after the Epstein letter from Donald Trump was released. This is from J.D. Vance earlier this year. Forgive my language, but this story is complete and utter bullshit. The Wall Street Journal should be ashamed for publishing it. Where is the letter? Would you be shocked to learn they never showed it to us before publishing it? Does anyone honestly believe this sounds like Donald Trump? Well, here's the letter. It was released today by the House Oversight Committee, and it was signed by Donald Trump.
And
Many
that's his
said that
signature.
this letter never existed. Many said this letter was fake. It's not. It's clear as day. It is there in print. That is a verified copy of the letter released by House Oversight. Now, there's going to be a lot of back and forth over whether or not Donald Trump was the one who wrote this letter and sent this letter.
Oh,
Their
Donnie
first
wrote
argument
it.
was this letter didn't exist.
Him and
We have it
Epstein
right
had
now.
many
Spread the word. I'll do a
secrets.
full breakdown on my Substack, linked in bio. Subscribe for free. And as always, follow along for all the news you need to know about. More to come soon. We have some news right now. Many in the MAGA movement, including Vice President J.D. Vance, have egg on their face today after the Epstein letter from Donald Trump was released.
I'm going to read this comment. It says, and this is by Apollo X. He said, who signs a letter? Everybody puts their signature on a letter. That lets me know you're not smart at all. So you never written a letter to anyone and signed your name sincerely or whatever. I love you in your name. What kind of letters you write, boy? Are you still writing letters like you was a school kid? Really? And then you fold it into a triangle and throw it to your girl that you like? Really? Oh, I can't play the music. I apologize. This says British member of the parliament nominates Biden for a Nobel Prize, and Donnie ain't even nominated. Donnie won't be getting it. I told y'all that President Joe Biden was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. Donnie ain't gonna get one. But who got one? President Joe Biden gonna get one. Who has one already? President Barack Obama. He has the Nobel Peace Prize. And that's what Donald Trump wanted. He always wanted to compete with the black man. Honey, you can't even compete with him in bed. Trust me, you can't. He got an eggplant. You got a ping, Donnie. And I heard it's a mushroom. You want to compete with President Joe Biden. You don't have the Harvard education. And I saw your grades when you was at the whatever that place you said you went to, business school. I saw your grades. You're dumb. And Melania Trump, please keep President Barack Obama at your D-suckers. Because President Barack Obama and Michelle Obama is highly educated with high IQ. While you went to a university and quit. Michelle Obama graduated, top of her class. Melania Trump, where is your university degree? Where is it, girl? You don't have one because you quit. Your husband dumb, and you dumb. He's a conman. And you tried to con America and said you went to a university and graduated when you never did. President Joe Biden will receive his Nobel Peace Prize. Yeah. Lord, let him live to get it. And take Donnie instead. Why you give cancer to President Joe Biden when Donnie is a horrible, mean monster that deserves cancer? He does. You want to know why he got cankles? Because the ancestors are beating the shit out of Donnie at night in his sleep. He won't go to sleep because he's scared that the black ancestors going to attack him. You want to know why he got those bruises all over his hands and body? They beat his ass at night when he go to sleep. Get him! So, this calls for Pam Bundy to be prosecuted, explored after she's caught in a major lie. Attorney General Pam Bundy is now facing calls for her own prosecution after one of her biggest lies since taking office blows up in her face. Congress released a trove of Epstein files last week. Most of them were already public, which I've shown you on my channel, and some of it I put in my membership. But reporters kept digging and found something that Bundy previously claimed no longer existed. The missing minute of footage from the Epstein cell. The footage doesn't show anything distorted, but it does raise serious questions about what we can believe from this administration. Bundy, Trump is going to take you down with him, girl. You are highly educated. Get a grip. Turn your back on him. It's not betrayal. It's showing you are smart and educated.
Donald through college.
Hold on.
Fred Trump Jr. paid to put Donald through college. Donald Trump called Wharton the hardest school to get into. He transferred there as a junior from Fordham University.
And his grades were
horrible.
horrible.
Wouldn't have allowed for his admission. His sister, Marianne, had been doing his homework for him, but she couldn't take standardized tests in his place. He paid his friend, Joe Shapiro, to take his SATs for him. Trump applied to Wharton in 1966. He was interviewed by admissions officer James Nolan. Nolan had been friends with Trump's brother, Fred Jr. They went to high school together. They spent time together in the Trump's home in Queens. The family hoped he could help get Trump into Wharton. Fred Jr. asked Nolan to interview his brother. Trump brought his father to the interview. Fred Trump Sr. tried to ingratiate himself with Nolan. Nolan was the only one allowed to speak to Trump. He had to give Trump a rating on his own. The evaluation was decent enough to support his candidacy. Nolan's boss approved Trump's application. It wasn't difficult to get into Wharton at the time. It currently has an acceptance rate of 6.49%, but in the 60s, the school accepted half of all applicants. Transfer students had an even higher acceptance rate. The kids of wealthy families were accepted ahead of others. Their families often made donations to the school. Some of the donations were made anonymously, so it's possible that Trump's family helped him financially. Trump graduated from Wharton in 1968. He holds a Bachelor of Science degree in economics. He's claimed that it is evidence of his high intellect. He once claimed he studied at the Wharton School of Finance. However, it was not created until 1974. A 1973 article claimed Trump graduated first in his class. His graduating class of 366 had 56 top students. However, Trump wasn't one of them. His name wasn't among the top honorees at his commencement. He wasn't on the dean's list his senior year either. His fellow students said he didn't stand out academically. He would come to classes unprepared. He skipped the study groups that other students attended. Trump wanted to directly engage in the real estate business. Residential real estate is a weekend business, so he spent all his weekends in New York. One of Trump's marketing professors despised him. He called Trump the dumbest student he had ever had. The professor often referred to Trump's arrogance. Apparently, he came to Wharton thinking he already knew everything. Fred Trump Jr. paid to put Donald through college. Donald Trump called Wharton the hardest school.
See, Trump's daddy had money. Trump wasn't smart. He had a father that had money. He was low IQ. His sister did his homework. It was said he paid someone to take his SATs. Con, even at a young age. And he's still conning America. He's low IQ, bad genes. What do you expect?
We have some news right now. Donald Trump, when speaking at the Museum of the Bible today, minimized domestic abuse inside the household. This is a direct quote from Donald Trump's speech at the Museum of the Bible. He said, quote, "Things that take place in the home, they call crime. If a man has a little fight with the wife, they say this was a crime. See? People quickly began to point out that he is actively minimizing spousal abuse within the home. And the fact that he was doing it while speaking to the Museum of the Bible, no less, is pretty stunning given the circumstances and obviously given what he was saying while at the podium. And this was part of a much larger speech about anti-Christian bias and more that Donald Trump gave this morning at the Museum of the Bible. But he is actively downplaying domestic abuse within the home, and not enough people are talking about it. So spread the word so more people know. I'll do a full breakdown on my Substack, linked in bio, so subscribe for free.
Donald Trump he's dangerous. He's endangering the American people by using those words that like abuse is okay in a home, that a man shouldn't be punished for punishing a woman with his hands. He want to make domestic violence okay. I bet if Melania Trump could be honest, we would hear some stories, y'all. Because if y'all noticed, like the video I just showed you the other night, the look he gave her and her facial expressions after Donnie gave her that look, what was you doing to her, Donnie? We heard a lot of bad things about you, but I can believe them. What did you do to Melania Trump? But now you old, she doesn't even want you. She got the money. She had a son. She's been with you for a long time. I'm sure she got a good prenup. It got to be some good insurance on you for her to still come around every now and then. Because she's barely around you. She doesn't even live in that White House with you. She's waiting on you to crunk over. We all waiting on you to crunk over. Please, crunk over.
I have some serious news this evening. I just finished reviewing most of Jeffrey Epstein's 50th birthday book, and it is one of the most horrific things you will ever read through. I wanted to come on here and say that this isn't just about Donald Trump. It's not about one man, and it's not partisan politics. It's about years of horrific crimes conducted by Jeffrey Epstein. It's about a scheme that ran years that included powerful, wealthy individuals connected to Jeffrey Epstein. This isn't a political story, it's a human one. Americans deserve the truth. The survivors, the victims of Epstein's horrific crimes deserve the truth. Epstein's 50th birthday book, yes, it contained a letter from Donald Trump, but it also contained a lot more than just that. It connected a lot of powerful people who wrote letters to Jeffrey Epstein. Some of these letters are grotesque in nature. Many of them are. And we need to keep demanding answers for the survivors, for the victims in a nonpartisan way. American people deserve the truth. I won't stop asking these important questions.
American people deserve the truth. He hit the nail on the head. American people deserve to know the truth. Donnie is endangering women and girls. Maybe even little boys. Maybe. I don't know. We're living in dangerous times. You're supposed to be the leader of this country, but you're the most dangerous person of this country. We're in danger, America.
Here's the thing, like, obviously this is concerning to have a potential pedophile as a president. That is concerning, right? But this is like even bigger than him. I want people to understand the information that we were given about foreign governments and their participation, the information we were given about our own federal government and how high of a level we're talking about as far as like them being in cahoots. We know that JP Morgan Chase ended up paying out a large settlement because they basically kind of looked the other way as there were these ridiculous wire transfers that were going by. We know that there were fake corporations that were set up. We know that, or at least we've been told that there were fake immigration documents that were put together so that women from other countries could end up over here. We know that there were allegedly fake marriages. This goes and it reeks through every single level of government. And it's one of those reasons that these survivors have been quiet for so long, right? Because literally they would walk in and they would see these pictures of Epstein with all of these powerful people from all over the world. And then he would threaten them and say, if you say anything, just know I know everybody, right? And so I think if we are going to prevent Epstein 2.0, or if Epstein 2.0 is taking place right now, I think it's important that we nip this in the bud right now and we learn what we did not know and we put some safeguards in place to prevent this type of thing from happening. So here's the thing, like obviously this is concerning.
Very concerning. Very concerning. If you're not concerned, you're part of the problem.
We have a president that is sitting in office that obviously had a very close relationship with arguably one of the worst pedophiles that we've ever seen in this country. And he's gone from, I don't really know him like that. No, we're not really that close. Yes, he was an FBI informant. To now, he said there never was this birthday book. There never was this letter. And I think it goes to his credibility or lack thereof when it comes down to this particular investigation. It also goes to when we hear the White House say things like, hey, this will be seen as a hostile act if you sign off on this. Listen, as American people, we should all be in unison, no matter if you're a Democrat, Republican, or independent, when it comes down to cracking down on something like this. And this literally is so big. I, as someone who practiced criminal law in Texas, in Arkansas, and in federal courts, I have never seen a case this big. And I did it for literally over 15 years. Here's the deal. We have a president that is sitting in office.
It's a RICO case. Donald Trump, Acosta, Blanche, all of them. The cover-up. Bundy. Bundy was around when Epstein was in Florida too. A RICO case. Yes, a RICO case. We can't even trust the feds because Donald Trump is over the feds. But there gotta be some good people somewhere to put their foot completely across Donnie's neck until he can't breathe. Take him down. He should be in prison right now. He should have never been allowed into the White House again. He shouldn't have been in there from the beginning because he's been a criminal. He's been doing stuff to women a long time. And it has been said, he's a PDF foul. Anybody uphold anybody doing that to girls, women, you're sick too. Even the ones that's covering up for him, they're sick in the mind too.
Trump-Epstein story just got even more weird because a new page has just been released from Epstein's birthday book where Epstein and a longtime member of Mar-a-Lago joke about selling a woman to Donald Trump. I mean, this is insane. The Oversight Committee just dropped this new page on social media. You can see their description of it here. And this is the page from the birthday book. You can see a photo is included of Epstein right there holding a check from Donald Trump for $22,500. If you zoom in, you can see the picture a little bit more clearly, and you can obviously see that it's Trump written there and it's Epstein written there. But the writing at the bottom says Jeffrey showing early talents with money plus women sells fully depreciated redacted woman's name to Donald Trump for $22,500. Yeah, Epstein, a trafficker, is joking about selling girls to Donald Trump. I mean, that combined with this new birthday card that Trump sent to Epstein is just explosive. If you're a MAGA fan and you...
So, who was the woman's name? Was it Melania Trump? Who was it? I want to know. We don't know who it was. Who was it that they sold to Donald Trump? Who was it? Because we may never actually get the truth how Donnie and Melania met. I don't buy that story that she and him put out. No. An immigrant and a con? No. See, they label immigrants as bad. Immigrants are not bad. But she may be bad. She's a part of the fruit, the orange man. Spoiled, rotten. He's decaying from within. And he's only going to get worse till he choke out and go bye-bye. Bury him right beside his first wife. And don't give him a tombstone. Don't. They need to dig up his first wife's grave and open that casket and see if any files in there.
Editor-in-chief and his fake news, their tactic is to divide and conquer. And so, they don't want, whenever a celebrity speaks out like Meryl did at the Golden Globes and gets the reaction from our president-elect, it's ridiculous. But that she hit a spot. She was pushing his button.
Well, it's not hard to hit a spot.
But yeah, that's true. But look, I have been a celebrity for
a long time,
decades,
yes.
Longer than Donnie.
And I have been told that I should shut up because I was a celebrity. But what celebrities can do is that they can bring attention to things that wouldn't normally get attention. It's the predator.
And I thank Jane Fonda for that. She still look good, doesn't she? I thank her for that. So Mike Johnson just keeps lying. It's only going to get worse. The more you lie for Donnie, it's going to get worse for you, Mike. I just wish those big eggplant black men with the big eggplants from Grindr put a spotlight on him. Put a spotlight on Mike Johnson and the MAGA Republican Party that be on the Grindr app. All you wives that got a husband in the MAGA Republican Party, check their phone for Grindr. See what apps they hiding in their emails. What they hiding, girl? They like them big black eggplants. It make them feel real good.
I don't do drawings. I'm not a drawing person.
He's a liar.
I don't do drawings. Sometimes people say, would you draw a building? And I'll draw 4 lines and a little roof, for a charity stuff. But I'm not a drawing person. I don't do drawings of women. That I can tell you.
Listen, Donnie, you better start blaming that frontal dementia that you inherited from your daddy. Because you're going to be in some big trouble. See, you don't have immunity from that, baby. No. And your porn star wife. Oh, allegedly. But we saw the photos. And Russia put her nudes all over the news.
Speculation that Caroline Leavitt and dear leader are stooping. Here is everything we
She's
know
nasty
based
if she
on
do
reporting coming
that.
out of the White House. Apparently, things kicked off when Caroline Leavitt decided to help President Trump cover up the bruise on his hand after he fired a makeup artist. Trump personally asked Caroline to help him because he said, and quote, if she can draw in lips that well, then surely she can help me hide my sickness. Apparently, Caroline and President Trump spent a lot of time deciding on decorating schemes together. Apparently, it was her idea to name the Kennedy Center after Melania Trump because it would throw people off the scent. Little does she know that the CIA has been asking her to hold up classified briefings at chest level because they knew that Donald Trump was only ever going to read anything if it was at that eye level because he's an old, creepy man. The president now believes that Caroline Leavitt is a fortune teller. She made one of these origami fortune teller things, and it had Oscar, Emmy, Nobel Prize, and then the last one was a Congressional Medal of Honor, and he picked Nobel Prize, which is why he's been obsessed with it. Many people in the White House Press Club have noticed that Caroline Leavitt has been derelict of her duties. Rather than doing her job, she has been spending most of her time creating the Trump AI slop that we see so often on the official White House page. And Don Jr. and Eric have taken to calling her mommy. It is said that she brings
enough of that. That's gross. I don't know if it's true, but inquiring minds want to know. Because when she see Donnie boy, this is how she is. She prop them things up real good. And she just act like a little bitty schoolgirl. Yeah, that's what she act like. And she married an old man, so I don't doubt it. She's going to change his diaper too. I put nothing past any of them.
Forget here is that Ghislaine Maxwell's dad, Robert Maxwell, died mysteriously, falling off a yacht, jumping off a yacht, getting thrown off a yacht. We don't really know, but we know that one of the last things he did before he was go to New York, throw some lavish parties, and introduce Ghislaine Maxwell to Donald Trump. So Ghislaine Maxwell and Trump were the BFFs, and Ghislaine set up Epstein and Trump to be besties, FYI. What we forget here is that Ghislaine Maxwell's dad, Robert Maxwell, died mysteriously, falling off a yacht, jumping off a yacht.
Who did it? Who did it? I don't put anything past Donald Trump. Nothing past him. Because I do not buy the story of what happened to Ivana Trump. I do not believe she just fell down the stairs. She's been living there for quite some time and have never fallen down before. Why she doesn't have a tombstone? Why? Why is she just thrown in at Donald Trump's golf course? Why? Not a proper burial, if you ask me. And all that money they have. She shouldn't have been done like that. But dig up her body and open that casket and see what's inside.
We have some news right now, and surprisingly, Donald Trump is taking credit for President Biden's infrastructure bill that was passed in 2021, despite trying to kill the bill, saying that it would be harmful to the United States of America. Signs like these are now popping up across the country, according to the New York Times. This one is at the Seattle Rail Yard Modernization Project. And as you can see, it says President Donald Trump rebuilding America's infrastructure. But if you look right below it, it says funded by the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. That's the infrastructure bill that was passed by President Biden and Democrats several years ago, providing one of the largest infrastructure investments in America's history. And Donald Trump didn't like it when it passed, actually trying to lobby lawmakers
we want to take credit now.
Not pass the bill. But now he is taking credit for the bill and for the impacts of the bill. And more people need to know about it because this is popping up not just in Seattle, but across the country, in Maryland and elsewhere. Spread the word. I'll do a full breakdown on my Substack.
Not only did he inherit a good economy from President Joe Biden,
Trump's press secretary,
the great guy who married a wonderful woman, Dr. Jill Scott. See, President Joe Biden, he wanted a woman of quality. Donnie wanted a ho, ho, ho and a Merry Christmas. And he's proud of her news. They were all over the internet and all over the Russian news. Donnie takes credit for President Joe Biden's achievements. He takes credits for President Barack Obama's achievements. When President Barack Obama, I'm sorry, I'm getting sleepy, handed over the White House to Donnie Boy, we had an amazing great economy. And everything that President Barack Obama achieved for us Americans, Donnie took credit for it. He didn't do SHIT. So this time, he lost to President Joe Biden in 2020. And he was mad and he tried to just not leave that White House. Like he planned on not leaving in 2028. You're going to go. We don't care how you go. I'm praying God take you and throw you in the ground and throw dirt on top of you right beside your first wife. Now he want to take the credit for what President Joe Biden has done. It doesn't surprise me. He's been stealing forever. He's just like his father, a conman. He's just like his grandpappy, who had bad genes and ugly like his daddy and Donnie. He inherits that bad gene to be a conman and a very bad man, and to not care about women and to mistreat women, maybe even girls. Yeah. But that's what MAGA like, because that's who MAGA is, exactly who they are. That day is coming too, y'all. They're attached to the bad seed and the man that has bad genes. And when I said bad genes, I mean it. Have you not seen his mother and father? I look forward to seeing y'all. It's a whole nother day, so I can't say tomorrow. We're already in on Wednesday. So I see you later on today, boys and girls, all you beautiful kings and queens. I got to get some sleep because I don't want to age. I'm 52 and I don't want to wrinkle, okay? I love y'all. Get some sleep. See you later. Bye. And I love you. And you don't have to love me back because I love you anyway.